Adios. Right. Okay, so I'm jumping in the class. So the first thing is, so in Control 4, in smart home OS environment, in Control 4 side, we have three main things on the software side. One is actually Composer Pro, which is actually the software what you are gonna use it as a dealer, and you're gonna build the system. And the directory is actually the software, which is running inside my controller, which does all your actions like control, audio, video, navigation, whatnot, upgrade, IP connection, security. So everything is actually takes care from the director. So director is actually the main guy which is sitting in the controller, and actually the navigator. So navigator is actually the final output once you have designed your project. So it's gonna come up by itself. Uh, so technically for the navigator, you really don't need a software to design an on-screen navigator or the user interface. So we have a lot of advantage over to it. So the main thing we wanted to highlight is we really don't want it to be too much of pro kind. Like, so I do programming, I do lot many programming and things. We made it so simple for dealers, which is dealer user-friendly system. So that's what the control for software environment all about. So software, when you do the basic connections, what you are physically doing, but if you do the same physical connections on your composer, which means on virtually, so that will be the project. So your projects will be ready. So that's as easy as that. And your user interface will be built by itself. So you can just connect it to the system. So the navigator will pop up by itself. So it's going to build the user interface by itself. So that is actually a great advantage. Right. So what I'm going to cover today, so one is about the small introduction about the OS, and then how the each and every interaction is going to be better, and also how to favorite the items and rooms, how does it works, and also the personalizing your smart home OS favorites and wallpapers, and how it auto adjusts to all our user interfaces, like maybe
क्यों वॉल्यूम
TV,
बंद कर बेटा
maybe a TV, or maybe your mobile device, or maybe your iPad. So any of the user interface will have better UI by itself, so auto adjust by itself, right? And at last, a composer overview, a small overview. What is a composer is, how does it works? Definitely, I'm not gonna show you on the software side due to the bandwidth issue. It really does not populate well. I'm just gonna just show you how does the software will look like in the control 4 environment. So the software, what you're actually gonna use it in the field. Right. So that is what the topics we are going to cover up for today. And to jump in, so about the smart home OS, right? So we made it more easy. Customer and dealer, you both. So most of the automation things which start with the DIY, and then if it goes to the programming side, so then it becomes more complex. So we just wanted to avoid that complexity and not like a DIY stuff. So we wanted to be in between. So where a control for software can give you easy flexibility for your programming, but at the time you are not compromising whatever you can do in the more customization as well. So that is what it's all about. Guys, please go on mute by yourself. Check it yourself. There is a lot of echo. Keep on coming back. Right. Thank you. Okay. So, and we always say our control for composer is actually the best tool for any of the dealer to have it. And we do have a mobile version as well for basic connections and programming. That's the beauty of our OS. And then here on the user interface side, the customization, fluidity, and modernity. So how it scales for any room to any rooms, and it's a platform for future innovation. That's what our main highlight on the user interface side, right? So I'm directly jumping into the user interface, how each and every interaction is going to be better. So to start with, we always say our user interface is actually auto built, but at the same time, you are not compromising on any of your requirements, what you actually needed. So how a UI will look like, right? So this is actually the UI. So what it actually look like. So where you can navigate between the rooms, and you can go and select any of your devices, whatever you wanted. So where it'll have you the intuitive information, which means where we'll have the actual feedback and control information, whatever are actually doing it. So where it's gonna blend with more of your used apps, like if I'm Apple user or Android user, so that's app gonna look most of the same. And even the session screens, it will actually give you option to control your entire whole home or maybe a single room. And from a single screen, you can actually see what are the room which is active and what is the volume it is playing in, and you can just adjust whole home audio together, or maybe you can just select whichever the room you really don't want it, and whatever you want to do, you can actually do it from your user interface. And another advantage is we have something called universal mini drivers. Maybe if I'm using a Sony TV or maybe a Fire Stick, so my Fire Stick can run like YouTube or maybe Netflix or Amazon Prime videos. So we have a universal driver. I can just add this driver, then it'll just show us a Netflix. Here what it is showing something similar. So I'll be seeing as a Netflix when I select the Netflix, so that will actually play. So that is actually another next level of watch experience, watch and listen experience, what we are actually giving it for the uh, customers and the dealers. The UI gonna blend with any of your devices, like maybe your mobile device or iPad or your on-screen navigator, what we say it is on TV. So it's all gonna have the same kind of user interface with the brighter text, brighter logos, where you can navigate between, and where you will have the clear metadata and album details for audio, videos, and control, lighting control, or any of the user interfaces will be looking the same, and it'll blend with most like how you blend with the other apps basically, right? Where I can favorite my any of the album and I can play it from. And also, if, another thing about the control 4 is it can actually show you what is the audio quality you are playing from the controller. If you are playing from MQA, it will show us a MQA, or if it is CD quality, it will show us a CD quality. So this will give you a full information. What is the bit rate? What is the depth it is playing? So everything will be seen from the user interface itself. So that is actually very much a great thing for our customers. For example, if I wanted to play in high resolution, so whether I'm playing in high resolution or my controller is playing in high resolution, that is actually the next question they'll immediately ask. But they can actually see what is the resolution they are playing in. Okay. Select the MQA what it is showing right now. So in your user app, so that will show the actual information. And all the logos, which means the icons we have for the devices like fan or TV or any of these devices, we call it as a active state, active and inactive state devices. From my single screen, I can monitor each and every device status. Like if my fireplace is on or my gate is on, so anything can be seen from my user interface front page itself. I really don't have to go into each and every page or every inside and to check whether it is actually all working. So it's all will be available on your main user interface itself. So this is something like maybe if I close a gate, I'll have the gate closed indication. If I'm opening it, I'll get the open indication. Or if my fan is running, it will show the fan indication. Even my if any audio source is playing, it will show us a audio source is playing, and even the lock status. So maybe for example, if I open the curtain, my curtain may take up to like 10 seconds, right? So even the 10-second, it will be like showing us a lock. So like till that time, it will show us like your device is getting locked, so or your device is getting closed. It will actually give you the actual feedback. For example, right now what it is actually showing in your kitchen door lock. Thing is your user interface, how does it is maybe for if I have for a larger a bigger home, how do I can control? So by default what you will actually have is you will have a room control. For example, if I'm going into control the lights, and for a master bedroom I can actually control.
Yourselves, yeah, there's a lot of disturbance coming in.
And if I want to control the entire whole home, I can select all option. And we have introduced something called active filters. If I select the active filter, what will actually happen is it will show my device status, whatever the device which is active, only that device will show on my screen. So then I can easily select whatever the devices I wanted to turn it off. I can select it to turn it off. Then of course it will actually show you the actual feedback. Once it turns off, that will go away from your user interface, which means from your active filter. So that is actually the another beauty of like using active filter in my any of the projects. Maybe if in a big project, I'll be using about hundreds of lighting circuits or maybe multiple locks. I just wanted to have it in a single screen where it shows all my devices and I can easily monitor what is my active devices and what is my inactive devices. So I can easily do that.
Mother there is a question, active and inactive devices related. Suppose there is a TV in my room and that power cord is faulty. When I'm making on going through the app, so it will give a feedback. It is on or not.
If it is IR, definitely it will. If it is IR, it will say as a turned on. But if you are using it
Okay.
IP, it will say as it is not turned on. It will
Okay.
say that your device is not turned on.
Okay.
Right. So that is actually the beauty of the navigator, what all the devices you have and what all the control options you have. And then the next thing is, how do I favorite any of the items, whatever I wanted? You can favorite like what is my most used options, like my Apple TV, or maybe my Netflix, or my maybe some custom buttons, or maybe my favorite music channels. So all these things will be on the favorite. So I can just make it as to favorite, and I can rearrange the favorite. So you can do anything as you want it. So I'll just show you the slide on that as well. Right. So, and next in the more than a shortcut, so we always call it as a dashboard. So what is actually a dashboard reference means, like in any big projects, uh, please guys go and mute by yourself. So I really cannot scroll down and see who is unmuted, who is actually, so please, right? Okay, so the dashboard, which will actually give you an entire overview on a single main page. So where it will give you the actual feedback of your device, whichever it is on and off, and it can be same for all the devices. So either it is iPad or maybe your iPhone or any of the devices. Right. And even you can do a favoriting the room. So for example, if I just favorite it, I can just swipe between the rooms, like maybe from kitchen to master or whatever the rooms I wanted actually. Right. So the main thing why we have this option is, for example, so every time I really don't have to select and do certain options to come back. So I can just swipe between the rooms. It becomes more common to use it with most of our apps right now. Right. So that is the same feature what we are actually adding into the control for user interface also. And maybe, for example, if I am the master user, I'll be going into each and every room. So maybe my child will not actually go and look at all the rooms, right? So maybe his room and maybe the living room, I can just favorite him to that particular rooms. Then he can actually just monitor it from there. So that's what the favoriting the rooms between, right? And these all features, the main thing is this can be done by the homeowners themselves. So you really don't have to do all these things. The only thing is you need to tell them, you need to press and hold, then it'll happen. So then actually they can do it by themselves. Like maybe editing the lighting scenes by themselves, or maybe changing the rooms, or maybe like adding the favorites to the home screen. These are actually customer faced options. So where you can tell the customer they can do it by themselves, or even if the customer calls you, I wanted this to be on there, so you can just immediately tell them press and hold, it's going to come over. So it's as easy as that. Okay. And as we say, each and every home is different, right? So my preference might be different, and maybe for others it will be different. Some people might be mainly focused on security side on the home automation, and some people will prefer their user interface to look more on like audio guide or maybe a video guide, something like that. So we take care all those options into our consideration. So we are giving option, for example, if I wanted to have play something, maybe if I'm a Netflix fan or maybe a Xfinity fan, I'll just go and press and hold my option. So that's gonna add into my home screen. So this will give you a brief in my home screen itself. Even for the music also, like I can favorite my music channels or music stations, or maybe if I have a playlist, I can favorite my playlist or even my album art. So all these things can be just like a press and hold, or maybe if you some options will give you like a select three dot button, it will give you add it as an option to a favorites. And this is like watch and listen experience. And the same thing you can actually do it with the lighting, so lighting also. So like maybe I wanted to have everything in my home main screen, I can actually do it like watch I done, listen I done, then I can go to lighting. So I wanted to add some lights or maybe lighting scenes to my favorite, I'll select that lighting scene and then press and hold. That'll give you option to add it to my home screen. So then it'll show in my home screen itself. The next time onwards, I really don't have to go under certain option to do any actions. So I can do entire thing from the main screen itself. And all those are actually the active state devices, which means it will give the actual feedback of the device whether it is on or off. So I can easily understand whether it is easy on or off. So that will give you a full control of your home from the main screen itself. And definitely we do have this like a room menu, so where you can go and select what are the options you will normally do, but it's easy and option for any customers to actually do it. So that's what it is. And the next thing is, I have added too many things, then I feel that I don't wanted certain things. You can just do that. Again, you need to press and hold any of the options you really don't want it. It will actually give you option to rearrange it, and you can delete what are the options you are not really using it. And also you can rearrange the icons view, like maybe watch experience first, then my listen experience, then my comfort and convenience experience, then my security and surveillance experience. You can rearrange however you want it basically. So this will give you a full control option for your user interface itself, right? And also for the people who wanted to have that home main screen, so which means we call this as a home menu, which means a room menu. And what is you are seeing in the center, it's actually called as a session screens or maybe a home screen. So that will show you the entire favorites and options, whatever the active devices you are playing in. But your room menu will always give the standard menu. So the four main pillars of control for like your entertainment, lighting, security, comfort. So again, you can go in there and you can add it to favorites at any time. Like maybe if I wanted watch to be my favorites, I can just select and press and hold, then I just say favorite to room. So it'll become more easy. So even my watch experience also, I'll just go press and hold, so then I can add it. So any of the devices, or even in the devices inside, I wanted to add it something, I can actually do it. So it's as easy as that. And when it comes to the user interface, the next thing is the wallpapers, right? As a control for, we give you certain wallpapers as a default wallpapers. And the next thing is dealers can actually add the wallpapers by themselves. And when you are adding a wallpaper, we always say add the wallpaper which can actually suit your room, right? So don't add too bright images where it gets interact with your logos and the icons and the state devices. So it's actually as easy that so even you can take a photo, even the customer can actually add the photo of their home. Also, they can like maybe if I wanted to add a living room, so I can just select my living room and I can add it. When you add the image, it'll actually ask you, like even if it is for a iPad, it is fine. So it'll actually adjust the landscape and also the portrait mode by itself. So if it is portrait, so what is the area it has to be covered on that portrait? So it'll actually give you a full option. So that will give you the easy option. So it is as easy as that. So then whenever I rotate the device, it will actually auto adjust all the icons and everything will go by itself. So that's beauty of the uh, auto adjusting your logos, wallpapers, icons, button controls, each and everything. And this option also, dealers can add some wallpapers for their customers. They can give them and they can just like they can set everything to for the customer, they can use it. And if the customer feels that they want to change it, definitely they can allow to change it by themselves as well. They can just go into settings and change the wallpaper also by themselves. So this will give you a brief idea of the wallpapers changing and the device status and everything for the customer. Right. And this gives you an entire comparison of what is the UI capability is. And of course, there are a few more things in, like we have something called session screens. Okay, so where it will actually show you the active sessions, what it is actually playing. And I can go in and I can control each and every room from my session screen itself. And even it will give you the status of your volume and maybe what is the rooms it is playing in. And even if I wanted to add some rooms, I can actually add certain rooms as well. And I can just uncheck that room to remove from my sessions what is actually playing in. So you can do the entire app control from the single room screen itself. So where it can give you a full option. And the next thing is like even if you turn it off any room, so you'll have an option whether you wanted to ask a confirmation, like some rooms, if I wanted to give confirmation, I can give it. And if I don't want it, I can just set it in the app setting itself. It'll just turn off by itself. So whenever I turn it off, it will say, are you sure you want to turn it off? And then of course, you can actually select the options, whatever you wanted on the AV. And audio video is always actually independent from your like your lighting integration and other things. Definitely you can add it into the options maybe if you need it, because in some rooms I feel that I wanted to control only audio video. So what we have as a control for we have done is we always give audio video control as a full control, and then of course you can do whatever the controls you wanted to add on. So that is what beauty about the user interface and the confirmation. And we do have something called a media bar. So whenever anything is playing, so you can see it from the home screen itself. So right now, what is the screen which is playing? I can actually see it. And so this will give you what is the active source right now in that particular room. So from the home menu itself. So that is actually the another great thing. So from the single screen, I'll have the entire information, all those things, right? And as a control for, we have something called a gesture pad as well. So where I can select the gesture pad, where it will actually give you the swipe option. I can use the touch screen or maybe a mobile device or iPad to control the entire options like up, down, tap it to OK. So all those things are actually available for the customer as well. So they can actually do it. Even the basic IR driver can be used as a like a navigation driver as well. So it gonna be more like a smart because nowadays most of your basic TV remotes or maybe other devices it has this gesture pad, right? So we wanted to be like on the more same way. So where you can just open the gesture pad, you can just navigate it, and you will have the entire control. So that will be like a great option, right? And of course, the enhancement on your audio video. So definitely it'll give you the entire audio video information. Like you can shuffle it, repeat it, everything from the home screen itself on the audio side. And that's what it is all about. And if I select the eye screen, what it is, eye it shows on the room. So it will actually give my audio information. So what is the active source which is actually playing. And control 4, we said, so we support high resolution audio and it can play in MQA. So mainly for the audio pros where they want to listen the music from the automation system, they can actually do it, right? So I can just, maybe if I'm using a title master, I can go into the title master and I can select the MQA file. I can play any album and this will play in high resolution with the maximum resolution. What is the audio it can actually support from the source. And whenever it is playing on the below, it will actually show you the audio quality, what it is playing. Right now, it is actually showing something like a MQA. So which means it is playing in MQA. So that's actually the actual representation of what is the audio quality which is actually gonna play. Right. So and somebody is asking about the channel metadata. So we do have something called EPG guide. So which is actually called as electronic programming guide. Where it can show you the entire channel information and the channel generic and what is the channel about, maybe the future programs, whatever the actually your TV remote, which means the TV display can show, the same thing can be shown in the control for platform as well. So we have our own EPG driver for all the setup boxes. So it can go with most of the setup boxes, right? And the next thing is, this is audio and video. It's all going to be some like same like your video as well. So where we'll have the same active screen which will show you what is actually the playing in. So everything will be there in your home screen itself if something is playing in. And the important thing about the user interface and the customization is like this can go into uh, any of the displays, like maybe mobile phone or control for touch screens or your iPad or Android device or maybe the TV. And we auto adjusted all the OSD, which means on-screen display, to adjust into most of the devices. For example, your TV resolution, TV display might be bit differ from your other devices, but that's what most it actually suits. So it can go well with that kind of information. Right. So that is actually the entire details about the user interface. How does it gonna look like, and what is software power, and of course you can do most of the things with whatever the things you really wanted. It'll give you the full information. Right. And the next thing is how it is easy for the dealers, right? So because as a dealer, what we are actually uh, how do I do my system, or maybe how do I service my system? So how do I install it? So how do I program it? So that is what the biggest challenge for most of the customers, right? Okay, so we have this software which is called as a Composer Pro. So that is what the software application for any dealers. So this will be available only for the dealers, right? And a dealer can connect to the system and they can program it, like not actually called as a programming. We call it as a drag and drop solution where they can drag and drop anything as you wanted. So like the same physical connection representation will be there in your software. So once you are done, your basic programming is almost done. And the next thing is, so this actually what happened is even this was the same tool which I have launched with very long back. What all the modifications we are doing, so we are doing only on the backend, on the director and the user interface capabilities. So the software, we wanted to make it more easy and simple for the dealers. It really don't have to be a programmer dependent software. And at the same time, we wanted a software which should do most and everything whatever I wanted for my job. So that is what the uh, power of my software. So that is what it's actually all about. Right. So just to show you how does Composer Pro software will normally look like. So you will have 5 main tabs whenever you are connecting it to any of the system. So you will have something called system design, connections. This is actually the main 3 tabs. Where the system design, what you will define your room, home, and all the devices, where and all it is actually placed. You are going to define the same thing in the system design. And the next thing is connections, your physical connections, your IP connections, your Zigbee connections, your network connections, all those connections, your control, IR, relay. So how the device is physically connected. So that is the same thing you're going to do it in your connections. Once you've done the system design and the connections, your basic, which means your system is up and it will be running. So which means I can go into each and every room and I can go into each and every device and I can control. So that is like I am done. So once I done my physical installation, maybe in another half an hour, I can actually do it in the composer connections, right? So I can just connect to the system. I'll tell the system that these are all the devices which is there in my home, and this is all the rooms, this is all the devices which is there, and then my physical connections and IP and the network connections. Once I done, my basic project for my home is done. Definitely, if I wanted to do it further, which means maybe you can schedule it something, or maybe you can program it like whenever music plays, turn on lights, or music plays, do something else. In that kind of applications, maybe when door opens, turn on my light, maybe evening time, turn on lights. You can do all those programming activities using a programming. And then we have something called agents, which is actually called as a, like a add-ons for programming, which will help you do more smarter and other things which can be done from the composer itself. And the media screen will actually mainly to manage all your media activities. So these 3 things is actually kind of next level. So your basic level will be like a system design and the connections. Once you are done that, your basic programming is done. So it is not actually programming. It is like more like a composer wizard kind of configuration. So where I'll add the rooms, add the device, make the connections. That's what it is, right? So and the next thing is we do something called a programming. So if you wanted to do as a programmer, right, I can do programming. So we call it as a event-based programming. So how does that event-based programming works? So it is as easy as that. Your customer says something, if you can read it, then it is as easy as to program. So that what it is actually done, right? So for example, when this event happens, do these actions, right? So it is as easy as that. When this happens, do that. So that is what the normal scenario we use it for a programming. Definitely, you can use all those logic gate options like and or whatever the if conditions. Most of the other programming next level, but the concept remains the same. So which means when this happens, maybe for example, when sun sets, I wanted to turn on my light. So I can just say when sun sets, turn on my light. So that is what my programming is going to be. So that's how easy is I'll be programming the system, right? Or maybe night 11 o'clock I want to turn off my room, so which means I turn off my light. I can actually do it as well. So where at the time I can program it to turn off. So this is the programming is that's what I can say is like if you can read your customer requirements, so that is what the same thing will be in your programming, right? So your customer will say that evening 6 o'clock turn on my light. So in the programming, you're going to do the same thing. You're going to select 6 o'clock and you're going to turn on the light. So it's as easy as that. This is a small example. So maybe for example, so when a garage door opens, I want to turn on some light, I can program it like when a garage door opens, and then on the next, this is actually a device event. So when the garage door opens, I'll select my garage door. When the garage door opens, and the next thing will be like selecting and turning it on. So the next thing will be my actions. So what I wanted to do as action, so I wanted to turn on my light. So I'll select my light and I can actually turn it on. So that's as easy as that. So this is, we call it as action. So on left side, whatever we see as events, on the right side, whatever we do as actions. And once you done it, so you can actually add as a script. So which means when I selected it, definitely it'll give you option to add as a script. You will just double click it, that will get added into your composer. So this will be like as easy as that how I read. So when I do something, when this happens, you do the certain actions. So that's what it is. Right. So this becomes your entire scenario, what we are actually reading out, right? When the garage door open, so I want to turn it on light. So this is as easy as like when the customer says something. So if you can read and translate it, it's actually the same thing gonna be in your program. So that's what the beauty of the program actually. Right? So this is actually the comprised overview of what is control for is on the software, on the user interface side. Most of the times I may feel that I wanted to have the customization for my user interface, but when I do the customization, how much time I will take and what all the things I need to consider. So this will become more like a programming job. But when you do with the control for, what happens is you just do the connections, your user interface, which means your UI builds by itself. So you really don't have to worry about whether it is building the right UI or so, because I do the connections correctly, it is gonna same thing it's gonna represent. And this is gonna be universal, and your customer gonna love it. Because you will have more options to control, like where you can add as a favorites, where you can check using the active filters, where you can see from the mini drivers. So it will give you the entire options for the customers, definitely. So that will be more like a easy option for any of the customers, right? So this is what the entire summary what we have talked about today. So one is our smart home operating system, and then definitely the how each and every interaction is better for your smart home, and then favorites and your personalization of your favorites, lighting scene, even the entertainment personalization, even the on-screen which goes with each and everything was a better. And how do we make our dealers life easy? So that is what our entire topic is about today, right? And we so every time we always get a feedback that we are actually our session is always going beyond 1 hour. So every day we say 1 hour, it always minimum it goes up to 1 hour 20 minutes or 1 hour 40 minutes. So that is the reason we wanted to make it more shorter and just to the point. So that's what we have actually done it today. So and the next thing is just to wind up. So small information about a few things. Most of the times people will always ask us whether I can integrate this, whether I can do this. So we have something called drivers.control4.com. So where you can actually see what all the drivers we have for drivers, any third party license supported IR, IP. So all the drivers details are available in that. And there are some of the third-party drivers also available from some of the third-party driver writers. Like even they have some free and paid versions, a lot of combinations. And you can just always have a look at from like a driver central IO or maybe a black wire designs. So this will give you the entire so just to show you, I'll just show you from uh, driver portal for control 4. So just give me a second. I'm actually sharing my browser as well. So
In the meantime, if you have any questions, please ask in the chat. So we'll be happy to answer those questions.
Yes, sir.
Yes, please. Okay. Right. So this is actually the driver database. Like I can go into drivers.control4.com where it will actually give you the entire manufacturer list and what all the drivers we have. So you can select the manufacturer list, whatever you wanted, and you can select the device type, what it is actually, and you can check whether it is the driver is certified or not. You can select what is the control type you are actually looking for. And in case if you not finding any of the drivers, which is actually maybe if it is not more wide brand, definitely you can look around. Like there is a third party website which is called as a driver central IO. It is actually a third party drivers where they'll charge, and also they have some free versions also available, so where you can have the entire drivers from them as well. And anything which is actually particularly related to Indian drivers, definitely you can always write to us if you have any brands or products which is need to be integrated. You can actually share that as well. All right, so that is actually the details about the drivers. And right. So this actually concludes our session. So definitely, if you have any questions, so since we have some time, definitely you can ask us. We will try to answer it.
Can you talk about MQA? Question from Dishant.
Dishan, please go ahead.
He needs to know more about MQA.
Right. So what happens with our current audio qualities? I think right now the maximum available is 96 kilohertz. With MQA, what happened is, which is called as a master quality audio, which means what is the actual sound, what is the actual quality, which is recorded from your audio center itself, where they recorded the original quality of the audio, and where it can be recorded up to 192 kilohertz and 192 kilohertz at 24 bits. So that is actually the currently the maximum stereo audio channel which can right now play in. So where it will give you depth of each and every note, like your uh, uh, from the basic to a top. So that is actually the capability which can actually play from our controller. But normally, if I talk about audio matrix switch or audio matrix amplifier in general market, what happens is the maximum it can play is like 96 kilohertz. That is what the maximum it is. Even in India also, we don't have something in 192 kilohertz because right now till, so we don't have like a high resolution audio yet. Very few contents they are walking in, so like it's like a more kind of new stuff which is actually coming in. So that's what the MQA is all about. The basic information about the MQA. Definitely there is a lot of things behind it.
Any other questions?
For Lua training,
Hello.
definitely we don't
May I
have
interrupt?
the. Just give me a second. Somebody is asking about the training on Lua. I'll finish that. Right. So in control for training sessions, what we normally do is we do a basic training course, which actually involves how to create a IR or maybe RS-232 drivers to develop like a IP, a two-way drive. It is we have a basic course. We'll share you the video, but definitely you need to try on your own. It where it actually based on Lua programming, which can be very similar. Like if you have any programming like C++ or maybe Java or any of that background, definitely it'll be easy for you to develop your own drivers. Yes, please. Somebody was in saying.
Hello.
Yeah.
Uh, my question is regarding UI.
Yes.
In Crestron, we are able to create our personal customized UI. In Control 4, it's doable or not?
No. So that's what I said. It is actually a composer which actually builds the UI by itself. So we really
Okay.
don't have something called what you have in Crestron. You will have a VT Pro E where you will actually work on your user
Yeah,
interface.
you're right. Right.
So we don't have actually that option in control. Or it actually auto builds whatever the options by itself.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Hi, sir. Hello.
Yep.
Yeah, Mahendra from Trinity. My question is, it's possible to customize event,
Is it possible to?
customize alarm-based event.
Definitely, we have a alarm agent in Control 4 by ourselves, where the customer can enable, disable by himself by changing the time. And if you do anything on the programming, so we have something called when and then you need to enable that option for your customer to do it by himself.
So
Please
for
drop a
anybody who
mail.
wants a question, please write to us. Mutamal, you can show. Please write to us so that we'll share you the presentation and the things.
Sure, sure.
Can I ask one question?
Yes,
Yeah,
please.
go ahead.
Yeah. If I'm using a DALI system, so is your system directly compatible with the system with the DALI, or you have to go with your drivers?
We don't have actually direct DALI interface or the direct DALI drivers, but we do
Okay.
integrate with like any KNX supported or maybe Lutron or Clipsell. So any of the integration based, maybe a third party based. We
Okay.
do have like a third party driver for DALI integration.
Okay.
So
Okay.
even with that also we can do integration, but we directly don't have a DALI driver or device by ourselves.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can access home app from other remote location. Yeah, you can access home app from other remote.
So no, you can access your home app from remote location also. That is only thing is you need foresight or maybe IP connection to your phone. That's all you can actually do it. You can connect it.
Okay, thank you.
So that's it. Any more questions we can take in? Otherwise, we can wrap this meeting.
Yeah. Thank you,
Hello.
Krish. Yes, please.
Hello.
Hello.
Yep.
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Are you saying you don't have any directly DALI driver? If we are using Lutron DALI driver, it will be
Integrate with.
controlled.
It will be
Okay.
controlled from Control 4. Yes.
It will take some license or not? If free of cost.
No, we don't. We don't require any license.
Okay. Thank you.
Program sun-based event like sunset and sunrise we do. Not like sun movement basically, but sunrise and sunset we do. For remote connection, you don't need any static IP or anything. We just need a foresight license from Control 4. It is actually yearly subscription. With that, actually, you can actually control.
Hello.
Some small question, Niranjan. Hello.
Yeah, Ranjan, go ahead.
Yeah, energy monitoring. Any possibilities? Hello.
Energy monitoring is possible. We need to write a. We have some energies driver. If something customized is required, we can do it.
Okay. Means driver is there. What about devices? Backend device.
Energies is a product from Australia. You can take it from there.
Okay. It's available in Snyder also. It's having their own Modbus output.
Then I think you're ready to support. We'll find.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Hello. Hello. Click here.
Yeah, Malik.
Can we have a particular device password control, right? Any single device I can control with some pages only on other. He got 2 3 rooms control another, not for others. Anything like this.
Someone can answer this. Muttal left it.
Hello,
Right.
Kunal here.
Sorry. Actually,
Okay.
Muttal is left. So can you write?
Hello.
Yeah. Sorry.
Hello. Am I speaking with Suman?
Yeah, speaking. Yeah. We'll have this.
Suman, good afternoon. I'm Sahil Verma from Crestron Lifestyles.
Hey, Sahib, we'll take this question offline. We're hosting some separate sessions with your teams. Okay.
All right. Okay. Okay. Thanks.
Control 4 can support Zigbee on Z-Wave as well. We need to have additional module with it. That's it. Narasimha has cancelled for this. PPTs will be shared. Please text to email ID. We will share you as soon as it's made available. Okay? Password for simple user interface. Yes. After production. We do location-based programming. Location. And do location-based programming. I will consider working on it. Okay. Any more questions or should I wind up? PPTs will be shared. Please write to us. Can we have room-based password action? Yes, through the touchscreen or through the lock. These options can be made to work.
Hello.
Yep.
Kunal here from Krupam Solutions. I have a question about C4 OS. It is regularly updated or what?
It keeps updating every 2 to 3 months. Please use Google in Control for update releases. We have been updating it every 3 months once. The bug fixes and the new software releases will keep on happening. And the existing controller will be supporting it. It does not mean that you need to update your customer every 3 months. If it is running, it's fine. If you want additional features, you can go ahead and update.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. Any other questions? Thanks for the call, guys. We'll wrap it up. Any questions, please text to me. Write to me at, I'm just leaving my mail ID and phone number. You can always reach out at this place. We have shared all the videos. If you've not got it, please write to us. Thanks for joining. Yeah. Let's wrap it up.